There's this huge male baboon, probably the biggest baboon I've ever seen in my life, not but 25 meters away from me. I didn't know what to do, but I thought of something pretty cool. So this story is quite a funny one. It happened to be after I was a ranger. I happened to be working up in the northern Drakensberg, really big into fly fishing, and decided that one day to go and have a session on the Bushman's River, which flows pretty much below Giant's Castle and into the Giant's Castle Reserve. And I heard the baboons barking, but I wasn't too sure how far away they were. They seemed pretty far, but in that valley, the sound echoes. I moved around a corner and started fishing, and I heard a sniff, and I turned around, and there was this huge male baboon not but 25 meters from me. Now, this is probably the biggest baboon I've ever seen in my life, probably as big as me, and with the biggest teeth I've ever seen in my life. And now he's only, and they can be quite aggressive, but I never really had a problem with him up in Giant's Castle. So I carried on fishing, and he kept on barking at me. And I happened to turn around, I said something to him. I think it was like, "Are you enjoying yourself?" or something along that line. And he got off the rock and he charged me. Now, I had nothing to defend myself other than a skinny little fly rod and my hands. And he'll easily overpower me. And he stopped pretty much where the phone is right now, right in front of me. I probably could have stretched out my hands and put it around his neck, is where he stopped and turned around. So he actually mock charged me, and I was as white as a sheet, shaking. I was furious. I thought of something pretty interesting. I had the thick fly line in my hand, and I bit it off like that. I took my fly line, I pulled a couple of meters off, and I took my fly rod and I swished it, and I turned it and I whipped, and I made a huge crack. The baboon jumped probably 2 meters high in the air. He got such a fright with his hands cupping his backside, that big round red backside. He cupped it, and he let out one huge roar. So obviously I nicked him on the backside and gave him a heck of a fright. So instead of running up to where he was sitting, he turns around, runs straight back down, and tries to jump the river, but misses and falls flat into the middle of the current. Now bear in mind, it's sort of April, I think it was, so it was pretty cold. And he gets out on the other side of the river. To this day, I've never had it, in all my years in the bush, I've never had an animal look at me with such hatred in his face. But anyway, that was a really funny story, and something I'm quite glad I got out of, because that could have turned pretty hairy.